Today I'm giving you my ultimate guide to hybrids. We're talking everything from the objective, to ball position, to setup, to the swing, to drills, to the most common mistakes, you name it. Everything under the sun to deal with hybrids, we're covering it today. Let's get right into this. So the first thing is what is the objective of a hybrid? Because it's one of the best clubs ever invented in the golf industry. If you don't have a hybrid in your bag and you're an experienced golfer, my first advice is go get a hybrid. It's the easiest club to hit. It's way easier than a 3-iron, a 4-iron, or a 5-iron, all right? First of all, what is the objective? Well, we know with a driver, we want to hit slightly up on it, okay? Everybody knows that. We know with an iron, we want to hit slightly down on it, but it's not an iron. It is a hybrid. So the objective with the hybrid is to come in contact with the golf ball as the club, the hybrid, has an ever so slightly downward strike. Let's just say, for sake of discussion, your 6-iron, you hit down on it 4 degrees. Just a reference point. With your hybrid, you're maybe hitting down on it a 1/2 degree or 1 degree, all right? Now, how do we do that? Well, first concept is the setup. Let's talk about ball position. You know this if you followed any of our stuff, and we cover all this in our book, The Bad Lie, all right, the vertical line swing system. We cover all of that right there. We know that with the irons, as a reference point, we want the ball to be kind of equal to the buttons on a golf shirt, basically speaking, right? We know with the driver, we want it to be way up front towards the inside of our lead arm. So with the hybrid, we want it to be kind of right off the logo on the golf shirt. So how do you find that? Well, you go ahead and get set up, put your feet together, and position the ball right in the center and place the hybrid right behind it. Now what I want you to do is take a step towards the target, okay, a little kind of, I'd call it a medium step, and then just take an ever so slightly larger step away from the target. So let me give you some specifics here. Let's say for sake of discussion, I step towards the target 10 inches. I want to step away from the target 11 inches. That's just a general guideline. I want that ball to be a little bit forward, and as a reference point, I want it to be off the logo on my golf shirt, because that will help me get that ever so slight downward strike that I'm looking for. What about the actual body position? What about the body position? Well, here's what I want you to feel. You know this, we love the 60-40. Nick, do you like the 60-40? Okay, Nick loves the 60-40. Nick gave us a thumbs up. Make sure you give us a thumbs up on this video, and be sure to tell us where you're from and how old you are. That's one of our favorite things to ask, because we got people from all over the globe following us here. I got the ball in the right spot. Now in the body, I want your weight to be a little bit more on your lead foot. So we said 60%. 60% of my weight on my lead foot, 40 on my trail. And then I want you to feel like your upper body is pretty level. I don't want a big tilt away like I might with a driver. I don't want a big tilt towards. I want just a tiny tilt away. So go ahead and do this. Take your hybrid, kind of put it down the middle of your chest like this, right? And just tilt a little bit. To the point where the hybrid gets just an inch or two from your lead thigh. Everybody see that? Okay, this would be too much. Okay, this is not enough. Just that little bit of tilt, get your upper body in the right spot. So we've got the ball in the right spot, we've got the 60-40, we've got the upper body in a good spot. All right, what about the swing? What about the swing? In the vertical line swing system, we like to swing the club for the most part the same with every club. But with the hybrid, it's really important that you get a nice full hip turn and you get your lead arm a little bit up, because this club is getting a little bit longer. Okay, and as the clubs get longer, one of the biggest mistakes I see golfers make after 30, almost 35 years, it's hard to believe it's going quick, of coaching, golfers tend to swing the club too low and around as the club gets longer. So make sure when you start your swing with the hybrid, okay, that your lead arm works more straight back, and also make sure that you get a nice big full hip turn. Okay, as these clubs get longer, it is vital that you have a nice big full hip turn. So your checkpoints are this. Here's your checkpoints. You know, here we love to keep the game simple. The game is hard, but it doesn't have to be complicated. So here's your checkpoints. When you get set up, okay, you got your setup down. When you get the club to the top, I want your hips to turn enough where you can see the daylight between my legs. See the knee and the knee here? See how they change flex? Nick, can you see that daylight? Okay, Nick can see the daylight. Now, if you don't believe me that there should be daylight between the legs at the top of the swing, go look at Johnny Miller, Go look at Tom Watson, go look at Jack Nicklaus. They're pretty good golfers. Those would be 3 good ones to look at, and you will see that exact same thing. The other thing that you will see with hybrids in all the clubs, and this is why it's a cornerstone of the vertical line swing, is you will see the lead arm ever so slightly above the shoulders. Okay, so here's my shoulders. This would be below my shoulders, bad. This would be covering my face, that's bad. You're gonna see that lead arm, for me, that left arm, somewhere between the shoulder and my chin. The most common mistake is, I mentioned it a little bit earlier, okay, it's really twofold. One is poor ball position. People think because this club kind of looks like a wood that the ball should be really far forward. So they tend to get the golf ball too far forward off their lead arm. They make a good golf swing and they just top it. So it looks something like this. They're set in here, but you can tell right here from face on, this ball's way too far forward. You can see my center's too far back. Okay, that was on the first take, Nick. Okay. You can see how you're gonna top that, right? Everybody gets that. So ball position, make sure that ball, if anything, it's better that it's too far back than too far forward. Now the swing mistake, all right, and then I'll give you a little tip and a drill how to fix that, is I've already mentioned it. Golfers take the club too far inside, right? They take the club back and their lead arm goes too far and in and out. So one of the fun things that I like to do with my golfers is I'll just get a golf ball and I'll take a golf tee. You can do so many great drills and things with just golf tees and coins and stuff like that versus all these expensive training aids. But just take a tee or a coin, put it behind the golf ball. You know, this is probably 16 to 20 inches, but it's on the target line, all right? And just when you're set in there, just make sure that the club head, the hybrid, works straight back over that. That will help you get the club working back. Let me go ahead and hit one, and then you can tell me if I got the club up in the right spot and if I got that change in knee flex. And then I'm gonna give you my favorite drill to do with the hybrids. Here we go, straight back and up, change the knee flex. Okay, that was pretty good. Pretty good. I hit that a little bit on the toe, but I'll take it. Did you see the change in knee flex? Did you see the lead arm? If you did, put it in the comments, or if you think I'm off, don't be afraid. I could use some tips to help with my own golf game. What is my favorite drill? What is the drill you should do with the hybrid? Because this is the club where we're looking for a lot of distance, typically, I'm gonna give you a drill that has to help with club head speed. And this is one that we've done, you'll see it in a lot of our different videos, but it has to do with loading. One of the best ways to keep club head speed going as we age, as we become an experienced golfer, is this loading from side to side. I start on my lead, I go to my trail, and I go back to my lead. So the drill is very simple. All you're gonna do is take your regular setup, and you're gonna swing it to the top. Remember, turn those hips, change that knee flex, and get that arm up. But as you do that, okay, I gave this drill to my student, Jack. It was game changer for him. Make sure that the lead heel, see that? Comes off the ground just a little bit. Boom. Right there. Everybody see that? Because when that lead heel gets off the ground a little bit, it forces you to get your weight into your trail foot. And once again, if you don't believe me, go look at Johnny Miller, Jack Nicklaus, and Tom Watson and look at their lead heel, and you tell me if you don't see it slightly off the ground. Now before I go, I want to give you one little bonus tip on hitting a hybrid off a tee. Because sometimes on a long par 3, you'll be doing that, or maybe it's a short par 4. So here's the tip, all right? And I stole this one from, I'm quoting a lot of greats today. We're quoting a lot of greats, but Jack Nicklaus, the hover, okay? It's one of our cornerstones of the vertical line swing. So when you're set in there, all right, you got that ball position, you got that 60-40, all those things that we've learned. I want the hybrid to be just slightly hovering off the ground. Everybody can kind of see that. See how it's just hovering? Now, why that's important when you're hitting a hybrid off a tee to hover is because it sets your mind, subconscious mind, that, hey, I'm gonna swing more through this golf ball because it's already in the air versus down on the golf ball. What you'll find when you hit the hybrid off a tee with hovering it is you're gonna hit some rockets. That ball is going to go a long ways. Now that we've helped you with your hybrids, check out my next video. And if you wanna personally work with us on your golf game, check out VLScoaching.com.